Hello everyone and welcome to this video of reflection. I'm going to reflect on the video that I posted the last week where I was sharing my discovery of where the anti-Semitism came from and also how I asked children in Egypt about the Jews. And of course I had a lot of comments that actually made me discover that I forgot to mention something so important, which is the victim mentality. So how is this related to what's happening in the world and how it's affecting individuals and nations in this video? So I'm Theresa Khalil, a writer, a documentary filmmaker from Egypt, and I'm living in Europe for about 12 years now. I claim that I have a unique view, and that's why this channel is called Unique TV. So what I noticed in the comments from the previous video is that many of the Jews or pro-Israel who were commenting on the video, they were writing very long comments about things that happened in 1970, I don't know, 1940, I don't know what. And it all showed me this victim mentality, which is, I think, is not only the problem of this conflict that is happening right now. So I'll start with the story of me being on a journey to find love and my life partner, which wasn't easy at all. But one of the people I met during that time through dating websites, and if you're interested in this journey, I have a series on this channel about it. But I met this guy who was just divorced, and I asked him what was the reason. And he said that his wife was very nervous. She was always beating him up, throwing him with a laptop, throwing him with an ashtray, whatever she find. And I asked him, how long have you been living together? Or how long did the marriage last? And he said 6 years. And of course, when you hear the story, you think that he was the victim and she was the evil one. But I immediately thought that, okay, for someone to stay in such a relation for 6 years, this means that there is something about him as well that is problematic. And so of course this meeting was the first and the last with him. But this take me to this realization that as it takes two to tango, it also takes two to conflict. And this is what I believe in the Israeli-Palestinian cause. I think there must be a problem, and I would like to put my hand on the victim mentality on both sides. But I will focus in this video about the victim mentality from the Israeli side or the Jewish side, because I have a lot of stories about that. So the first story comes from the time where I was doing my master's of documentary film directing, and we had a master class with a documentary filmmaker from Israel. I think his name was Eyal, and in his master class he showed us documentaries that he shot in Israel, and because of those documentaries he was kicked out from Israel and also boycotted by his family. He was showing how the education system is in Israel and how that, for example, one of the scenes, you see children, Israeli children in kindergarten, and how the teacher is telling them to reenact the story of the Jews escaping Egypt. So they start running and the teacher is yelling, "Egyptians are chasing us!" And the children are like running and reenacting this story of how the Jews were, escaping Egypt. And of course, when you are in kindergarten, this will put in your subconscious that just the word Egypt is problematic. He also showed us part of his documentary which he filmed with teenagers in the Israeli schools, and how they arrange for them trips to the Holocaust sites and tell them the stories and show them movies. And of course, those teenagers are crying hysterically as if things are happening now. He wasn't happy with that. He thought that this doesn't make the children grow up in a right mentality, let's say. And so they were not happy with him, and he was kicked out of Israel, and he was in France. He's living in France. So this show you, like I showed in my previous video when I asked the children about the Jews in Egypt, but some also Arabs were telling me, why didn't you go and film in Israel? Well, I don't need to do that because there are Israelis who are doing this, okay? So as I said, it takes two to conflict. This takes me to the story when I was in Budapest in Hungary, and I was in a couchsurfing meetup. And couchsurfing is a platform that connects locals and travelers. So I was living in Budapest at that time, and I went to this meetup to meet new people, and by coincidence, I was sitting beside someone from Israel. So we were supposed to introduce ourselves and where are we from. So I said, I'm Theresa Khalil, I'm from Egypt. And suddenly I felt tension in the girl beside me. And then she introduced herself and she said her name and that she's from Israel. And she was attacking me the whole meetup. So for example, when I was saying that, on my way to this meetup, it was so crowded, she was saying, I don't think there is any city more crowded than Cairo. And what she say is true, but it's the way she said it. And also how she proceeded during the whole meetup, attacking me. Whenever I say something, she's like a bit hostile towards me. And if I was a traditional Arab or a traditional Egyptian, I would take it personally and I would live in this victim mentality, like, oh, look what they do to me, how they attack me. But because I was aware, because I saw how she was in the kindergarten running from the Egyptians who are chasing her. So I just didn't take it personally. And as it takes two to tango, or it takes two to friendship, I don't think we could have been friends because of how hostile she was. But we also couldn't be enemies. Why? Because it takes two to conflict. And I didn't give her a chance to be in conflict with me. So I hear her comments and I smile and that's it. Because I knew what was going on. People like to believe that there are angels and there are devils. And I think life is not that simple and it's more complicated than that. And you can find in one person both the devil and the angel. And you need to be more understanding. Like if everyone is understanding of the other, I think life would be more peaceful and much better. You need to be more conscious, more conscious about why each one is doing what he's doing. Now the world is divided between pro-Israel, pro-Palestine. And for me, if I have to classify human beings, I wouldn't classify them in that way. I classify humans, if I have to. Yeah, for me, I think that each person is unique and you need to deal with each person individually. But if I have to classify people, I would classify them into simple-minded people and out-of-the-box people. Out-of-the-box people are people who can create progress because they think differently. They do things in a unique way that usually lead to progress. But simple-minded people, if it's just up to them, there would have not been any progress in the world. I already made a video about simple-minded people. I will leave a link to it. But there are two kinds of simple-minded people. One of them are the ones who have good mental capabilities and they just need to work on themselves and things will be better. Or the world will be better. And there are other simple-minded people who don't have this kind of mental capabilities. So they will not, even if they work on themselves, it will not work out because they have limited mental capabilities. And with those people, you need to be more understanding. And so, if I look at the world, that's the way I see people. Simple-minded and out of the box. So you can find simple-minded Arabs, you can find simple-minded Israelis, Jewish, you can find simple-minded all over the world. And you can find also out-of-the-box people all around the world. So some people commented on the previous video saying that you are brave and you are saying the truth and all that. And no, I'm not brave. If you watch 10 weird facts about me, you will know that I'm a big chicken. So I would never say something that can harm me, or I'm wise enough to just try to speak what I believe without provoking people, without causing problems, you know? So yes, I think the solution is pushing forward to having more out-of-the-box people, or people who are more conscious everywhere in the world, and let's say limit the amount of simple-minded people. I mean, the world needs simple-minded people because they have a job in the world. But usually conflicts happen or stem from how can you guide simple-minded people to create chaos and drama. Out-of-the-box people are difficult to be guided, let's say. And this reminds me of football matches, you know, how there's always chaos and fights and struggle in football matches because people are pro one team and against the other, and they just get the hell of each other. So those are my views when it comes to this matter. Let me remind you again, I'm not brave. I'm just a questioner who's curious, who's looking for answers. And when I look for an answer, I don't want to reach a certain answer that I have already in my head, like majority of people. So most people who think that they are questioning, they usually want to reach the answers that they want to believe. I'm not like that. I'm open to all possibilities. I believe that everything is possible, but nothing is for sure. So I can change my mind. So after sharing my view, please tell me, what do you think? Are you pro-Palestine or pro-Israel? Do you believe that it takes two to conflict? What do you want me to reflect on next? Let me know in the comments. If you want to subscribe to my newsletter, where I will send you one email every month sharing my updates and my creations, so go to my website teresakhalil.com and sign up with your email. And see you in a coming video.